So we're dedicating today's Likutei Moharan to destruction of all our enemies, so that we can travel freely, like the good old days. And Torah Mem Hey, Torah Mem Hey is where we're at. We already started the last part. We told a nice Baal Shem Tov Maisa about wings, and Minister Shemaim opened up the Chabad pamphlet this last week, being Jewish or living Jewish, what it's called. And the first story it brings was the same Maisa, the Baal Shem, where you go into a shul and it was filled up, and then you go in another shul, it was empty, and really the Nakuda was, the reason why the shul was filled up and everyone was talking, not davening properly, because none of the tefillahs had wings, didn't go up. Whereas the shul that was empty was the shul where they were davening with Kavanah, like Shirat David, so all the tefillahs went up, or go up, yeah? So that shul is what the Baal Shem Tov was talking about.
It took two components to make it rise, right? It was
Ava and Yira.
Nice.
And also dibur, to speak kavana. This is what we're learning here, because by clapping your hands, ki machatz kapayim b'tefila, says Rabbi Nachman, Rabbi Nachman ben Faiga Golda, ki adei zeh nisorim b'chinas kanafayim. We awaken the aspect of wings. So we're going to get wings today, yeah? We're going to start flying, Zevi.
Ready. Let's go.
Shemisham bo hadibur. From this comes the speech. That the master of wings is saying things. Yeah, I don't know if that's the best translation. See what it says here. It says
he will say
they had human hands below their wings. Really? I didn't see it that way. Okay, good. We got the translation there. They had human. No. That must be the next pasuk. Sorry, that's the next pasuk. The previous pasuk, for a winged creature will tell the word. Yeah, that's what I said. I didn't say it quite like that, but the master wings, the winged creature will say things, yeah, will tell things. And that's the next pasuk that we just mentioned. They had human hands below their wings. Okay, so we got two pasukim that speaking comes from wings, and the hands, human hands are below their wings. This is talking about, one's from Keheles and one was from Yecheskel, which is the Novi. Ezekiel, as I say in English, was the Novi of the chariot, the Markava. And he was describing the heavenly angels in very deep understandings. And we find that this person is waking up his hands with his hands, and we would say that what does it mean to wake up with his hands? It says here an interesting word, ebullient is expressed. Ebullient is expressed in his hands.
Ebullience.
I don't know, for waking up. I don't know. Excitement. I don't know. Shemisham bo adiba. From that comes the diba. That's what we were saying above. So here it says, Nisor b'yadayim shelo azai kanafayim nisorim. The wings wake up. Yeah? You're going to look up that word?
Yeah. I know English, word. And that's like not one I know.
Ebullienc. Wings rouse the lungs, apparently. The wings rouse the lungs. That's another chiddush over here. Thank you, Brezav.org.
Okay.
Interesting translations.
Cheerful, full of energy. Exuberance. I would have just said exuberance. I would have just,
Maybe it's more.
It felt like it meant exuberance from reading it. Ebullience is exuberance, I don't know.
I've never really heard of it. It just shows you how broad the language is. And when you sit with a professor,
so it brings you to joy.
Kramer,
so let's
or a Motta they say words that most people don't know.
Let's bring it down to dumb.
I remember a Motta
let's bring it down to dumb. You clap your hands and it makes happy.
Makes happy.
Makes happy. Clappy happy.
Clappy happy.
Okay.
Happy Clappy.
Happy
Thank
Clappy.
Hashem song.
Boom. That's
our generation. But back in the day, you had
Ebullience.
professors of Torah.
Yeah.
And Motta I was singing with him once, and he was saying a shir, and he used words like sexton. You ever heard of sexton?
Of course.
It's like an old word for gabbai. Yeah, nobody uses that anymore. The sexton, or saxton, or whatever.
No, that's it.
Yeah. Anyway, I can find in Torah. He once said that you have to become a professor in Torah to cancel out the professors in the universities. That was one of his pshatim. Hainu kanfei re'eh. What's this wings of the re'eh? Re'eh is like lungs, I think. Wings that arouse lungs. Yeah, re'eh is a lung.
Well, they kind of.
Right? From this comes out the dibur. But you still need to make sure that you are preparing to fix the mouth. Yeah, you can't just go into davening and think everything's going to go lamala until you've worked on Shemir Sedibur. And then we spoke about this the other day about what you eat. That was Torah Mem Zion, eating with truth. There's also the other concept of speaking with truth. There's a famous Meiser, the Bedicheva. He invited a Rebbe around. The name of the Rebbe was Oyev Yisrael. Apparently he was rather large. There are some Rebbes who are bigger, like the Belzer Rav used to be. I don't know if he has so much now, but he was more big. There are Rebbes who are big. So Oyev Yisrael was brought down. He was the Uptarov, yeah? Mm-hmm. He came, Avram Herschel, I think his full name. I think he has a longer name than that, but what I remember, Avram Herschel, the Uptarov. That's his name. So he came to the Bedicheva of Shabbos, and the whole Kila had heard about this big Tzaddik, this big Dayan, I think he was a Dayan or a Basin or something like that. Very excited to see him. He was a huge man. And what he do, comes to the Tish, the first Tish of Shabbos, and he just starts eating, fressing, and eating, yeah? And they bring him more, and he eats and eats. I've never seen anyone eat so much. Yeah. It's Lel Shabbos. Then comes Shabbos Day, Zera Shimshon Shir, Kiddush. Yeah. And he's fressing away while Charles is giving over Torah. They're gone, and he's fressing like beyond the poppers, children, more children, ask for more children. You know, he's got like 4 or 5 helpings. Okay. Come Shabbos, do this, fress. And they're like, well, this is a monster. This isn't a tzaddik, yeah? So they're after Shabbos, they ask the Bedicheva, what's Pshat? You said he's a big tzaddik. I mean, we know he is a big tzaddik. If you look, open up his Sfarim, they're so deep. So the Bedicheva's famous quote was, there wasn't a thing that he shouldn't have eaten, and there wasn't a word that he shouldn't have said. Okay. Everything was exact. What he ate, what he spoke, and as a tzaddik, Bedicheva could see, like he saw the Sidkas by.
He was doing some sort of, I don't know.
That was his tikkun avodas Hashem based. The big, eating a lot can also be turned into holiness. I wouldn't encourage that, but the point was, the concept of speaking and eating in the right way is something very important, and we're seeing there's a connection between the previous Torah we learned and this Torah. No. Yeah. It's the same place, the mouth, the pear. Yeah. If you look at a menorah, it faces the middle, all the branches, because the pear, it says Panei menorah. The pear, the face is like a pear, like a menorah, Panei menorah, and Rabbi Nachman even says it's another Torah that all the different holes of the face are connected to 7 aspects of Kedusha, and you have to Makadish all of them, but they all center around the mouth, the pear. Mm-hmm. All the branches are facing towards the mouth, because the mouth is really the key to the whole avoda. So you have to fix and prepare your mouth. The kabbalah to dibur b'soicha, to receive the dibur that comes inside the mouth. Yeah, aidei shemaka kaf al kaf. So by clapping your hands, palm on palm, this is way to get ready the pear. Yeah, by banging, clapping hands, you're getting the pear to the right way, and that's evolved. You use the lotion evolved. Interesting. Okay, ki b'chol yad chamisha etzbos. Now he's going to explain, because every hand has in it how many fingers? 5. Balkutz or iris, and when you're banging these, like striking the lights, apparently, yad yamin biyad small. Oh, that's an important.
The skin, the ore.
It's light. No, I don't think it means ore with a light iron. That's iron.
Oh yeah.
This is iron. Oh. Ore is lights. Somehow there's some sort of heavenly lights. We can look underneath if you want to. Striking the light, says with Chaim Kramer. Oh, okay. Taken simply, these lights are spiritual energies embodied in mass, the spiritual form that is the root of all physical matter. The Kabbalists teach that in creating the universe, God created his infinite light so that creation exists as an independent entity. Moreover, as the creative progress unfolded, is the idea of Or Ein Sof. Yeah, you heard of that? Infinite life. Sure. Creative progress unfolded from above to below, involved at every stage a greater diminution of that light. This resulted in the possibility of greater concealment of and separation of the divine at every successive level. A process that culminated in the physical universe, an environment which is characterized by the greater concealment of the divine. Thus, in the physical universe, God's infinite light is all but completely undetectable, though it remains the essence and root of all that is created. So somehow, striking the lights, there's some sort of spiritual energy that's going with the mass, the banging of the mass. Yeah, it creates some sort of awakening, okay, of lights. Maybe because it's sort of breaking the mass a little bit, smashing the physical a bit.
Yeah, I kind of feel like, you're
All the
a partner in
particles.
creation. When you're like you're making that sound, like your hands, bringing your hands together, you're making a sound, but it's not.
It's like the famous question: what's the sound of one hand clapping? You know that. Famous. Anyway, I don't remember where I heard that from. Some movie probably. Yad Yamin biyad small. The yad, the right hand goes on the left hand. But dafka, like the Rebbe was very obvious. He would clap like this.
Yeah,
He'd bring the right onto the left. So the chesed is gaba on the dinim, on the gevuras. It's always a big avodah of chassidus. That's why when people try to shake my hand with their left, I usually make them give me their right, even if they're holding something on the right. Not to be a nudnik, well, maybe a little bit. I like being nudnik, but also for this union of the right hand. Yeah.
The right thing to do.
Yeah, fight for what's right. Yeah,
You gotta fight for your right.
Yeah, Hainu, Chamisha Pamim Chamisha. Yeah, that and behold, this is 5 times 5, Gematria Esrim v'Chamesh, which is a numerical value of 25. Hakos Yad, small biyad Yamin, Chamisha Pamim Chamisha, Gematria Gamkein Esrim v'Chamisha. So the right hand going on the left hand. 5 times 5 is Gematria 25. Shnei Pamim Esrim v'Chamisha. It's 2 times now because you're doing it, with the right and the left, So then times multiply the 25 by 2 is Gematria what? Chamishim.
Okay.
Chamishim is 50. Zeh b'hinetz Chamishim Pamaim Yitzias Mitzrayim v'Nizka b'Torah. So there's 50 times it says in the Holy Torah Kedosha that, and then when it means the Torah, it means the 5 books of Moshe, the Chumshei Torah. That's 50 times it says in the Chumshei Torah, Yitzias Mitzrayim. You know what the 50th one is?
No, it's written Yitzias Mitzrayim 50 times.
Pretty much like exactly those words or the concept of Yitzias Mitzrayim.
Okay.
As far as I remember. So it's 50. What's the 50th one? It's by Parshas Kisavo in the Bikurim. Bringing the Bikurim. That's the 50th one. What's the significance of the 50th time that Yitzias Mitzrayim is mentioned in the Torah? And the fact that it's mentioned 50 times is already significant. So we know it's the Indian of Shannon, Shari Torah, Shannon, Shari Bina. But it also shows you that Hakaras Tov, Bikurim, is all about thanking Hashem. And we started off that way, thank you Hashem. That is the key to the real shlemus of what Torah is about, having a gratitude, being a Yehudi who's thankful. Hanukkah coming up in another 24 days. A good way to remember is every time you say Shema, have kavana that each day of Kislev you're having another letter of the Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Echad. It's 25 letters. What's 24 letters? Baruch Shem Kavod. It's missing a Vav. Only when the Yichud Shalem comes, Mashiach comes, we'll have also 25 in Baruch Shem. And what's the 25th day? That's the Shlemus. Hashem Echad comes Hanukkah. On the Echad, now we get to the level of oneness. That's when we light the first candle. That little bit of light reminds us the oneness of Hashem, how everything is really light. And Dafka, it comes out in Kislev. Kislev is a Chodesh where we thank Hashem.
Crazy times.
And so we're doing that now with this concept. The 50th one of Yitzias Mitzrayim is of course the Tov, Yehudim. It's the Chag of Yehudim, of thanking Hashem, of being people who thank. And that's very important to remember this. Halav v'hodah is a big thing on Hanukkah. Okay. Zeh b'chinas chamishim pamim Yitzias Mitzrayim nizka b'Torah ki ayidei b'chinas yovu yotze megalas Mitzrayim. Because the 50th is also, this we didn't say before, the 50th is a Yovel. Yovel is 50 years. Then everyone goes free. All the slaves of Odim, all the different drawbacks, freedom in the land. How's that freedom? Everything gets masuda, all the debts, everything gets sorted out. We get back to equilibrium in Am Yisrael, in the land, Ba'aretz. Can only be done in Eretz Yisrael, obviously. And this Yovel is the 50th year, which is connected to this concept of 50 times mentions Yitzias Mitzrayim. And it represents the Geula comes from the Yovel.
Do we know when the next Yovel is?
So the whole concept of Yovel is required on an accounting based on a Sanhedrin, which we don't have, based on having a system in Eretz Yisrael where it's consistent from the time of when we entered it.
So it's not like they have a track from the last Yovel.
So there is some people I think figured out some cheshbon of where we would be right now, and I've heard but in the end it doesn't really matter because the full Shemitah of that we're meant to be, I think, where are we now? We're already like the year after the year of Shemitah. So if this would have been last year, it would have been a Yovel year, it would have been Hako, it would have been like the year, yeah? But last year. And that's a year it says, Shemitah bo Mashiach, yeah? Mashiach's going to come. So there's definitely a Kach of Mashiach coming after the Shemitah, and definitely 7 times 7 Shemitahs, which is then brings us to the 49th level, which is then the 50th is Yovel. Then we get that level of Geula Legamre. And we don't have the Shemitah fully, we don't have the Sanhedrin to announce it and to keep it fully. So, I mean, obviously we have to keep what we keep with the base dinim and everything else that we try and do. But to have it in its full shlemus, we need Rov Klai Yisrael Ba'aretz.
Sanhedrin, gotcha.
Not just Sanhedrin, we need Rov Yidin Ba'aretz.
Well, to have a Sanhedrin, you also need
Rov. So there's tally on this. Yeah, so everything's dependent. So we're not in that state yet. We're close. I mean, really close.
We're very close.
I think we're like at that point. How many? 8 million Jews beyond? I don't know. I think there's 60 million. I think it's almost there.
Wow.
It's a matter of a few more aliyot, and and hopefully not Yidden getting killed in this war. And so then we have ability to get to this majority ba'aretz.
That'll be great.
Yeah, I think we're close to it. That's for sure. And that is the Yovel, which is Yotzul Golas Mitzrayim. Icha Golas Mitzrayim Shai Dibur B'Golas. So the main Golas, the main exile of Mitzrayim was the Dibur, Peh, was in, the power of speech was in exile. We weren't able to fully express ourselves like you see online. Yeah, people are scared and people don't really communicate fully and have to argue these little cutness arguments of these, people who are not fully educated or have agendas. So this is Dibur B'Golas. We're not really communicating properly. Like the kind of communication we should be having is soul to soul. Like it's neshamadik, and you're connecting to this soul. You're fully communicating from a soul to a soul, and about your avoda and sikhs chaveim in the most deepest way, and the idea, the way tzaddikim speak, how everything they say is, you can learn out Torah from it, because everything, they don't have any Devarim B'Teilim, because everything, they don't have any nonsense talk, because everything has Kavanas and Shemus and Avodas Hashem, and they're fully involved with the Yichud consistently. I'm not saying I have any masag with these Madregas, but I'm just saying over what I've read in Svarim, and there's this the Madregas of how a Yid should be with Dibur, of high levels Dibur. When we're learning Sefer Chavetz Chaim, Kol HaKavod to us, but really we should be on a Madrega way beyond just, Nivel Peh or all these low levels of swearing and talking not good about Kleisol. We should be like Kavanas, like what are we saying in our speech? What's our intention? And constantly elevating it more and more, refining it more and more. So we speak in higher and higher Madregas, and that's something which we can aspire for, and it will get us out of Golas, literally. That's the power of it. So, learning the halachas are really important, because it helps us purify the speech, and then we can get out of this Golas. And it's interesting. And with this, we know that Moshe was what? Covered Peh. Now, that's something I've used as well. People say, why don't you know Hebrew properly? I've been there like 25 years now. It's ridiculous, yeah? I'm not dumb, if anyone's noticed. I'm not. My Rebbe calls me a genius, funny enough. I'm just quoting him, Tom the Rebbe. So apparently I'm a genius, according to a Tzaddik, but I can't even speak proper Hebrew. What's Pshat? I'm being honest. I just don't know. I don't remember the Dikduk properly. It just doesn't work. So I use this excuse, covered Peh. Now, obviously, Moshe Rabbeinu's covered Peh was not my covered Peh, but the point is, there was a heavy mouth, whatever that means. So the Pshat is that when he went to go nurse, he went to nurse from Shiksas, excuse my language, and the Paro's daughter and all that. So he didn't want to nurse from those people, So what happened? He had to sort of purify his mouth. So before he became Moshe, so when there was a test that happened, because apparently there was a drop went in his mouth or something, went on his mouth. So in order to purify his mouth, when Paro tested him to see if he was after the crown of Paro, and he was going to go for the crown, a malach moved his hand towards a burning coal, and he put the burning coal in his mouth. And from then on, he had like some sort of some sort of kuvah was able to speak fully properly, like
that was
in an elegant way.
Part of that Maisa
purified his mouth.
Was the nursing from
Yeah, because it purified his mouth from the treif that he might have. I mean, it's not treif, or whether maybe they had treif, but the point, maybe it's mutter and it's kind of stafasha, I don't know. But the point is that he had a little bit of milk in his mouth, and it was for a person who's going to become per dababo, talk to Hashem mamish, become a novi mamish. How's he going to be able to have that like kli that without it being kashered? So the kashering of his mouth was this ma'aser bara. That's the connection I heard once, with the whole sipur, the midrash, and everything. But anyway, the point is that Moshe Rabbeinu was covered peh. How do you explain it? Either coal burned his mouth, or he just was not able to fully, eloquently speak for some reason. So meant that he was the Novi chosen to take us out of Golas. So him is mi sam peh la'odem. Who gave this mouse to Odom? That's what Hashem said to Moshe in the burning bush story by the snare in Shemot. He said, "Who gave to the man?"
Like, yeah, look at me, I can't do it.
Yeah,
my mouth is whatever. He's like, yeah, who made your mouth work to begin with?
Yeah, exactly. So he's trying to get out of doing the shlichus, doing the role of being a Goel Yisrael, being the savior of Am Yisrael. And Hashem says, I'm the one who gave you the mouth. So you're telling me that's your excuse? I'm the one who gave you this mouth. So I'll give you the ability to communicate. Mi daika nimsa sh'aydei machas kaf. What does it mean, me? So me is also, remember, it's Gematria Chamishim, funny enough, the 50th level. Yeah, I think he's going to say that. Daika nimsa aydei machas kaf. And this is found by means of clapping the hands. Chamisha esbos yamin, chamisha shebiyad small, chamisha biyad small, chamisha biyad yamin. This how bechin is me. Then you get the 2 times 25 is what?
Gotcha.
50. So he sort of says it, but not saying it. Yeah, he says it's bechinas. Because remember,
me.
Who said this the other day? I was listening to a Rav. Was it Rav Shlomo or was it? I get confused now. I listen to so many classes. I don't remember. But I was hearing it from Rav Shlomo. I heard it from a Rav Yeshua. Yosef Zakutinsky, the Rav, thank you Hashem Rabbi, Vaksha Hashem, whatever it is. Anyway, so he said, I think it was him. He said that the whole Indian of the Nimshal and the Mashal is when we say Bechia, it was him. It wasn't Rav Shlomo. It was Rav Yosef. He's a deep rabbi. He's a Talmud. He's connected to Rav Moshe Weinberger, and he's over there in 5 towns somewhere. So he said in his shir most recently. He said, the one I heard most recently, that the idea of bechinas that Rabbi Nachman brings, Rabbi Nosson brings all the time, bechinas, because you can't fully explain the moshel and the nimshal. Excuse me. You can go around it like through mashalim, and that's why to get to the actual nimshal we have to. Rabbi Nachman chooses to use the words and Rabbi Nosson of bechinas. Yeah, because it's an aspect. Because you can never fully get it in a word form. It's something undescribable that only you can understand on a purely panemius level. So the words don't fully justify it on a certain level because words are limited. It's still kalim for the light, but the light is beyond the kli. Yeah. So to get the full panemius, we have to describe it in an honest way as bechinas. It's an aspect, not the actual thing. Okay, so it's a bechina. Ze bechina, says Rabbi Nachman. Me some bala ze midaika chamish yamin is have bechinas me. Sh'ayidei is have pair, and by means of this pair, k'moshe kosev me some pair la'adam, the pair makabo deburim mekanfei re'eh. The pair receives its deburim from what? The lungs. Yeah, from the wings of the lungs. Interesting. If you look at lungs, actually, if you separate,
they look like wings for sure.
Very deep. Yeah.
Interesting.
And you think Rabbi Nachman, how many lungs did he see?
Right.
Like, no, he didn't see the images we have easy access to now with science.
He didn't get it from seeing lungs in real life.
It's just panemius. Knowing the mitzias of everything through Torah. Because the Torah is the blueprint of everything. So really it has within it all these deep science and explanations that now we have to visually see. And we said that he didn't say master. He says these winged creatures are able to say things or tell things. I don't really like the winged creatures.
Are these
What's
angels?
bow? Why is bow
Are
winged
these
creatures?
angels, winged creatures?
I don't know. Some of these translations I'm not really into. I prefer the master of wings. It just sounds more Halig. Able to tell things, but maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, what can you do? Can I find this Orem and this Oris Yidei Odom? And these wings awaken with the awakenings of the hands of Odom. So really, you see, you can't really get. So when our friend Pesach, I know I'm not speaking Lashon Hara, I mean it. I hope I mean it. I mean it in positive praise to him. He comes to Shirat, and most people here don't clap. Let's just be honest, yeah. But he does, because his neshama is Dovik to, I think, on some level to Rabbi Nachman. From what I don't know him that well, but I've seen him learning Likutei Moharan. And so he's clapping his hands and davening, not like overly.
Oh, he's there.
But he's there. He's with that avoda. And I remember once, years and years ago, I went to Bresser Mesharim. I went there, and in those days of Shimon Shapiro, like the old Breslovers. Like I remember this one, you'd make a bracha, he'd come out of nowhere and say, Amen! Like he'd come flying out just to say Amen to your bracha. Like his devekas to the mitzvahs was like obvious and just small things like making a shar kol. Anyway, so I was there and it's a big Obder Shemi Breslovers, and especially when you're coming from northwest London after just being a WWF event with Hulk Hogan singing I am a real American. So I'm coming from there and I'm standing in Breslau Mesharim without the Hulk Hogan t-shirt. Now I'm actually starting to wear a yeshiva shirt, trying to dress up as if I'm part of that world. And I'm davening, and I'm coming from such a far off place, and I've only just entered a yeshiva, say, a bunch of months, and I'm new to the learning of Gemara and everything else. And the next minute I'm hearing everyone going like this, like all the groaning and the clapping, and I was like, I can't deal with this. So I phoned up Reb Bultman and said, I want to go to Uman this year, because I was learning a lot with Breslov. And, I've been speaking to people, and he's the mashgiach of the shul. I want to know what the Rav mashgiach thinks, because I have to get permission from the yeshiva. He said to me, what's your kavanah like when you daven with Breslov? You've been davening with Breslov? I said, yeah. So what's your kavanah like when you're davening with them? I said, honestly, Rav, very confused, because they clap a lot, they groan, they're this, they're that. It's very intense energy. I'm not used to it, and I get very mababel, very confused. He said, you're not ready to go to Uman. Yeah. He said, you can't go. And he was right. I would have got off the rocker if I'd have gone at that point. Been too much light, too much awe, and not enough kalim.
Yeah, I've seen these dudes.
Huh? You've seen those guys.
Oh, yeah.
That's what would have happened. That would have been years. If I would have gone, and then I would have gone on a shidduch with my wife to be, there's no way at that point she would have married me. Maybe later on, who knows, Hashem's cheshbonos. But I would not have been a kli for her, because she was by Misnagdish family, like real Misnagdim from Rav Simcha Wasserman, who Masorah from Rav Elchanan Wasserman was against Neged Bresov from the Vilna Gaon and Chabad, and they would have said he's a cuckoo, because I would have been cuckoo by that point from all the awe. That's how I imagined why Reb Bultman was right. Now the rest of us said to me, don't listen to him. This is not the thing of Das Torah. This is something which Rabbi Nachman himself is paskening, and that didn't feel right for me. Like I'm in this rabbi's yeshiva. How is he had nullified to a rabbi a few hundred years ago? I don't get that.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, so I went with the live rabbi rather than. I had a bunch of dreams of him walking around with the Sipuri of Rabbi Nachman, Reb Bultman. So I felt like, and his name was Nachman Bultman. So I felt like he was like his way in those dreams, like saying he had precedence. Yeah. Anyway, interesting.
Yes.
Sorry, a bit of a sidetrack.
I think life is very, very interesting.
Yeah. So it took me years later till Nissan Black took me to Uman. In 2017 was my first time, or 16, I remember, 16 maybe? Yeah, 16. And 2016, that's now, it'll be 7 years, 8 years. So he's coming, we're doing our Shabbaton together this year. And he went to Uman, and so did his brother, and I didn't. So usually I spend the whole of Rosh Hashanah with him, this time I didn't. So it's the first time I'm really connecting this year.
I went to Uman
in person.
In Hanukkah.
Yeah.
When did I get married? 2006, so it was 2005.
Wow.
Hanukkah 2005.
It's nice there, Hanukkah, no?
Yes, it was very, very nice. There were maybe 100, 150 people, 300 people at the tziyah.
Wow.
I mean,
so they changed a lot.
And it turns out that Jody was there also, not during Hanukkah. She went on a heritage trip or something like this.
Nice.
It was the only year they brought the group to Uman.
Well, yeah, because some groups stuff can miss it, man.
And like
Whatever
it was
it
like
is.
one of these trips that they take you there, and they went to
Yeah.
Uman Dafka.
Wow.
So that's cool.
Well, Hashem, I'm thankful to Hashem. The 7 years or so I went to Oman, and I went one time, I think during the year. I don't remember. I have a feeling I went. I've definitely gone on some trips to Ukraine, but then my son's going this Hanukkah for the first time in his life. He's 16 this Hanukkah, just before Hanukkah, the day before or something, and he's flying on a trip, proper tour.
It's gonna be good.
And he's paying for the whole thing himself. He's been working hard. He's very excited for it. So I hope it's Matzliach. Anyway, the point is by clapping the hands, yeah. And this is Rabbi Nachman's Eitzah, so that's why we're discussing all these Rabbi Nachman masses. Kol zeh anu roim b'chush. Sorry, I jumped a line. Kanafam nesorim kanafam. Al zeh roim b'chush. So what is it? Anu roim b'chush. What do you mean we see with our feelings? How does that work? Yeah. So there's the 50 gates of understanding. We mentioned that before. Clapping the 5 on the 5 times 2 is 25 times 2 is 50. I'm just looking over this. Are we doing good? The hands are opposite the lungs. There we go.
Right. We were just saying the lungs through the dibor.
So apparently we see this all empirically. There's another posh word.
I'm sorry?
Empirically.
Empirically.
Like science style.
Okay.
Empirically is like fact kind of thing. No, isn't it? My English is like failing me, but empirically. Like something empirical means like scientific fact. Like it's just is.
Yes. Proven.
Proven. Yeah. So empirical, like evidence. People say things like what kind of word. Anyway, so empirically, the hands are opposite the lungs. Yeah. Can they come through right? Bishvil zeh amul poskim nishba gaf samach leguf treifa. The breaks a gaff, a wing. If a wing is broken close to the body,
it's not fit
the
for...
bird is unkosher. It's treif. Can't eat it. Can't shecht it.
Can't shecht it, can't sacrifice it.
Yeah. Ki bevadai nikev aydei zeh hara'eh. For as a result, this lung has certainly been punctured. Because let's think about it. The bone now is broken. Yeah? So the wing is now constantly jabbing at that part of the bird. So where's it jabbing? Into the lungs. So it's going to puncture the lungs, and then the lungs become a treif. That's the lotion. The real lotion of treif does not come from other things. It comes from a punctured lung. I think that's really what it, or a wounded animal. It's like specific things. So the treif, the punctured lung is a treifa. Yeah, I never learned like chilkas basa v'chalav. Like
no, I just heard this. I just learned this recently. Also, like the proper terminology for that. That's what it's.
Okay. So you see what he's hinting at. So therefore, if a person's not clapping his hands healthily, then he's got these broken wings. So then he's puncturing his lungs, and then he's not creating the right deep. It doesn't say the whole therefore. But basically, by not doing the avodah of clapping the hands and cleaning out the dibur, it will lead to a punctured lung, a treifa lung, which will lead to no diburim, which we won't be able to really speak properly to Hashem. So that's why the Metzias is like that. The reality, I think we have to add on a few points, yeah? Okay, so we could learn the next Torah. We finished Torah Mem Hey. I think we got a lot of deep stuff out of that. I think by clapping and the concept of Nun Shari Bina, this holy Madrega we get from just clapping our hands. See, look, Hashem gave us the tools to elevate this world. Even the simple thing of clapping hands can be such a holy...
A physical thing can raise up non-physical.
Yeah, our diburim through tefillah into the most spiritual places. I really felt the koach of tefillah this week. One for your mother-in-law, we still have her in mind this year. Again, her name is Golda Faiga, or Faiga Golda.
Faiga Golda.
Bas
Tova.
So we have her in mind. And my mother as well, Hana Liba, Bas Simcha, she's in a recovery process. She had an operation. Did I tell you this?
No.
She had an operation on Monday, which was yesterday. And we were davening at that same time on a fast day and doing Avinu Malkeinu, and Rav Shlomo was a powerful Omar Shemaim. And if you felt that, you were here. The Mincha, early Mincha, 11:55.
No, I wasn't there.
It was powerful, like really powerful.
Amazing.
And I felt like a little bit like Kedusha that I haven't felt in the shul before this moment. It was like an extra level. We went up, in my opinion, and humble opinions. So we're not so humble, whatever, my opinion. So if we went up a level, I felt like our tefillahs are more miskabel. And then I phoned my dad and he said, good news. He said they were about to operate and they did a thorough examination because that's part of the procedure before they operate, and they found that it doesn't need operation anymore.
Amazing.
So recovery is just the full, investigation they made. Yeah? She's recovering from that, not from that.
Gotcha. There's like a puncture or whatever, but not like a full operation.
Yeah. So
tremendous.
So she's Baruch Hashem. So that was good news. I just felt like the power of tefillah. With our soldiers, there's a lot of shmira and a lot of nets. They're not say a lot of hatzlacha. Recently, I felt like a certain energy of victory, and that also comes with the Chodesh HaKislev. It is a Chodesh where we were matzliach, like Lenatzech, Hanukkah. It's a time of netzach, a time of victory for Yisrael, and each of the Chagim are connected different spheres, and I think Hanukkah is connected netzach, victory, and Purim is connected hod. So the Tamchum Chayid Deraisa, these two levels come out. Torah Shabbat Peh, Moshe and Aaron, they come out in the winter, Hanukkah and Purim. So there's a certain koyach of the tefillah and ruchnius right now in the air, the energy, and it gives us ability to be victorious. And next week I'm going to be speaking to Bnei Akiva, and I got to think about, I want to give them chizuk about Hanukkah is like going to help them have victory in their own lives, to have success in the general war and in their own personal war, and try to give them that kind of inspiration. And so I'm always trying to connect everything into that energy right now.
It's important.
Yeah.
With the times.
Yeah. So I don't know what Torah we should learn next. You can choose if you want.
I think we gotta cut it now.
Yeah, but not
next.
now. I don't mean now. I mean next time we learn.
Oh.
So what Torah we should learn next time we learn? Let's think about it, daven about it. I don't know if you have anything specific.
No, I don't. As a matter of fact, I had gotten to this because it was so close in location to like one of the last Torahs we learned. That I just was leafing through. I was like, ooh.
Yeah, I mean it was deep, and maybe we can clap. But I would say in a shul like this, just as Derech Eretz to Rav Shlomo and everyone else here, Kavod HaSibor, I would like clap quietly.
Yeah.
Clap loud, like it will like disturb people.
I don't think it's the place.
No. If you go to Uman, clap away.
You could howl.
Or you go to the forest, clap away. You're doing a spotus, clap away. But stumps is just walk around, just banging away. It's just like going to disturb people. So so everything has its time and place and way it's done. I'm sure a soft clap also has power to it.
Yeah, it didn't say.
It doesn't say loud. It doesn't say anything about strength of the clap.
No, the orot was lights. It wasn't smacking skins together. I thought it would.
Yeah, that's true. Good point. Okay, so we'll figure out with Hashem's help what to learn next. Join us next time in Likutei Moharan with Zevi Shtender and Eli Goldsmith, as they say in America.
It's a good thing we're in Israel,
Yeah, you can get away with these things.
We live in our foreign countries anymore.
Chas Hashem.
Oh my gosh.
Only good news.
Work's very hard today. And my body feels...
Should be with abundance. Everyone with abundance.